If you take a look at different luxury brands, you will see that most of them have patterns. Yeah, they're using them everywhere, on their products, in their websites, on their banners, like almost everywhere. Take a look here. This example from the Louis Vuitton website, and as you can see here, we have some products, and this product has a pattern. This product has a pattern. Then take a look here. This is also a pattern. And on the background here is also a pattern. As you can see, they use them everywhere. Now let's take a look at Gucci. Gucci also has their own pattern, and you can see it. You can see it clearly that this is the pattern on all of these products. Even this is a pattern. Let's take a look a little bit further. Getting back to Louis Vuitton. As you can see, this is also a pattern in the product itself. It's different now. It doesn't have these L and V here, but we have Louis Vuitton words, and the rest of it is just like checkmate pattern here. Awesome, right? But how to create one? Well, we will use the same. You already know how to create, for example, this checkmate pattern. But how to create, for example, the Louis Vuitton pattern like here, or Gucci pattern like this? Well, we'll use the same approach that you already learned from the previous lessons, but here we'll create just a little bit more. This type of patterns is a little bit more complex. So in this case, you have to keep in mind some additional things when you're creating them. Well, first of all, let's create something that is a little bit more predictable, like Gucci. In this case, if you take a look, we have G, G, then we have two squares on all the sides, and then we have G, 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 G everywhere else. So then the pattern is repeatable. How to create this? Well, let's start creating. First of all, we are creating our frame for our pattern. In this case, the size doesn't matter because the main idea, we create the pattern first and then we find the right size for the frame that will dictate the pattern that we'll have. So first of all, we'll create G, and for this G, we will use something, maybe Robotos Lab. Let's take a look. Not the same. Interesting. Maybe Bodoni. Cool. D dot. Amazing, but still not Gucci style. We're not going to recreate exactly the same style. What we're going to do here is we're going to understand the idea behind it. So in this case, let's use D dot in this case. Yeah, why not? So we have G. Let's create another G. Shift H, Shift V. Now we rotated this letter as well. So now we have two G's. Looks like that. Looks already cool, right? Specifically if you put them exactly so they like go one after another one. Yeah, perfectly. Probably this will be a little bit better. Perfect. So now we have two G's here. The second thing that I'm going to create squares, two squares from all of the sides. But before that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the copy just in case. I always create copies just in case when I create something, because if I want to make some changes later, I will know how to do that. Now I have these two letters. Now I press Command Shift O to transform these two letters into shapes. As you can see now, they're shapes. And the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to press Command E to combine them together into one shape. Create it. Again, Figma fundamentals, everything is there. Now I can put it exactly in the middle of the screen because I know that they will have almost, at least almost the same distance from the edges of the screen. Next thing that I'm creating is these additional squares, like that. Same color. Now Command G to create a group out of it. And the next thing that I'm going to do, Command D, Shift H. Done. Now I select both of them, duplicate, and I press Shift V. Done. So we just created this button. Looks already incredible, awesome. The only thing that I just want to check that we have the same distance from the letter itself. In order to do that, I'm going to put it right here and this side right here. Perfect. And the next second thing, okay, it touches the area. Perfect. Now I'm increasing the size of the frame just because I need a little bit more space. And now I understand that if I create a pattern right out of it, it will not work exactly as I want it to be. Let's check. Let's see. What if I'll do that? By the way, as far as I remember, I made like 5, 5. No, let's make 4, 4. The distance between 4, 4. So it will be easier for us later to, for example, divide it by 2. Done. So now I take this frame, I change the size. If I create a pattern out of it, Object, Rasterize Selection, Command C, put it here and put it as tile, this is what I'll have. And that's exactly not what I wanted to have, right? Even if I do this stuff, and that's exactly why I changed the distance between them to 4, 4, like that. If this will be our pattern now, putting it here, removing the previous one, tile. As you can see, not the same. Why? Because G and G should be connected, so they should connect all these patterns together. So in order to do that, what I have to do, this is another example that I created. You can create it later yourself. So I'm going to increase the size of my pattern. I take this shape, and now I put this shape, boom, here, here, because remember, we measured that it connects the letters exactly from each side. So in this case, I'm grabbing them both together and attach them exactly here. Done. And the next thing that I'm going to do, it seems like these G's are outside of our frame, so I'm bringing them back. And the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the size of this pattern to the point where we have exactly the intersection of these, like the middle and center point of these G's. Like that. So it's exactly, as you can see, the intersection of these G's. Perfect. So now I have a pattern. Only now. The next thing that I can do, I can remove all these groups from here, select everything that I have, and now I can change the color of these letters to anything else like that. Done. Now copy, remove the fill layer. What exactly the color that I'm using? Okay, let's use that. By the way, I can combine everything together into one shape, Command E. Now, when I select the frame, inside of the frame, oh, I selected the entire frame. No, I just need all the elements inside. Yeah, Command E. Perfect. And this is our Gucci-like style. We'll just call it G brand button, like that. Now I change the color to something else. Let's imagine that it will be a little bit like pinkish, like that. Awesome. And now when I create a frame and I copy it, rasterize selection, copy the image, paste here, change it to tile. As you can see, they all connect everything perfectly together. And you might be asking why I decided to remove the fill from here. Well, because now it allows me to change the background color of this frame to anything else, including the original color from here. And as you can see now, this, oh my God, this pink doesn't look good. And that's the reason why it's always a great idea to have the initial design like that. Now when I have this frame, this is our G style button, done. Now I take the color from the original version, which is a little bit like brownish, and now out of it I remove the fill color, object, rasterize selection, copy, remove the previous one, paste, change to tile, boom. You have this pattern created. The pattern that doesn't look so obvious, like checkmate box, you know, doesn't look as obvious as in the previous example where we had for everything, you know, like just 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Then we just rotate them. In any case, I would say it's checkmate pattern. In this case, we have something more complex. And we are going, as you can see, lesson by lesson, we are going to more complex and more complex things. In the next lesson, you will be mind blown because the technique that I'll show you in the next lesson, this is something completely different. Something that will allow you to create absolutely any pattern. Honestly, it will be mind blowing. But take a look at this example that we created today. As you can see, I'm changing the size and everything is exactly how we would like it to be. And let's imagine that later you want to use it. Maybe you are working with a luxury brand and you created a pattern for them like that. Maybe you can make it a little bit smaller like this. And later you are creating a sign up screen for them. And here you will have, you know, the fields to put email, password, forgot password. So basically you will create the login screen for this brand, or maybe you'll create something like, just give me a moment, description. And for the description, we will use something sans serif. In this case, let's go with, what do we have here? Like Helvetica, regular, really tiny, like that. Just a little bit smaller size. Whoop. Convert it into a frame, put it in the middle of the screen, and here you'll have the button, something like subscribe to get, like, you know, usually all these e-commerce brands have something like subscribe here and get 10% off. And for the color of the button, sign up. And of course it will be sans serif. Again, something like, these are not real sizes in this case, but just an example so you can understand what's happening here and how you can use, once you created a pattern, how you can use it for your next projects when you're creating something, for e-commerce brands, for websites, for mobile applications, for products themselves, because it's not necessary that you have to use it for digital product. You can use the same approach for creating banners. In this case, just keep in mind, if you're creating something for print, always test the colors when you print something, because Figma creates everything with RGB color, and for printing we will use CMYK. And additional thing, when you're creating a pattern for print, create them really huge, like really the pattern itself, like this, it should be huge. So in this case, you can scale it down, it will stay sharp and crisp, exactly how it should be when it's printed. So keep it in mind, and this is what you can create. Mind-blowing, right? The second thing what you can do, and this probably will be like it will be complex, a little bit hard probably, but really great homework for you. There is no, you don't need to send it anywhere to check, but create it for yourself. Create the pattern like this for Louis Vuitton. You can decide what exactly will be the part of the pattern, because as you can see in this case, the pattern it's hard to predict, like, I don't see the logo anywhere else. So what's the pattern should be then? Well, you can set the pattern from this dot to this one, for example. Oh, let me change it to, you know what, to red, Shift X, and 100%. So this can be your pattern. Or maybe you will go a little bit like, oh, it's too hard, it will take too much time for me to create a pattern. So maybe this will be your pattern, like just these flowers and that's it. Depending on you, just go and create this pattern. And once you created it, your brain will understand the logic, the exact logic behind it, and then you will be able to create absolutely anything. How cool is that? Right? This is how you become a design legend, by learning more and more and more. And the more you know, the more confident you become. Because now when you need to create a project, you're like, what elements should I create? And you immediately in your head, like, I'll create this, that, and that, and that, and boom, boom, boom. And you have a picture just by, during the meeting, you already can have a solution. Specifically, if you worked a little bit more with brands and you understand also the business metrics behind it, you also understand how it will work with all other products of this brand. So if you understand the entire picture, nothing will stop you. This is how you become not only just a senior designer, but principal designer, and maybe design director, because you already know how to create that. But usually design directors, they direct, they don't create. And principal designers, they create, like seniors and staff designers. So I want you to get to the highest level you can to reach your potential, your design potential. So please, by following these lessons, now go and create the pattern like this for Louis Vuitton or Louis Vuitton style. You don't have to show it anywhere, because this is just for learning purposes. We're not using it as a real product, as a real thing, because it's not good actually to copy someone else's work or someone else's logos and everything. But if you can learn from it later, if they will be your client, you'll know exactly what to do. For this example, I just want to give you some additional tips. So for the logo, you can use dot typeface. For L, use italic. For V, use regular. Just put it like that. This will be your letters. And for these flowers, for example, what you can do, just simply create the ellipse like that. And then go to the edit mode, put these dots, remove them, then create a copy, duplicate, rotate, then combine them together, Command E, and create a circle in the middle and subtract. So this is how you create flowers. This is how you'll create flowers. And for these guys, also what I recommend you to do is take the flower that you already created, then take the shape star, create it from the middle, make the count 4, a little bit bigger, edit mode, radius. Now select both shapes, and in this case, what do we need? We need the exclude selection. Now we just created another flower. So as you can see, just in a couple of steps, I created all these flowers. And if I want to create this one, I already know how to create it in just a couple of steps. In Figma fundamentals, take a look at the Boolean group, Boolean operators, and how to use them. They will help you a lot to understand the logic behind it. And go and practice. Now go and create this flower, create all these patterns yourself, and create the pattern. Create later the frame, put this pattern on the frame, take a photo of yourself, put it on the image, and enjoy the results that you achieved. This is mind-blowing, guys. I honestly, if you go through that, if you're already at this point and you went through all the lessons and you practiced, I'm super proud of you. You're a design legend already. Later will be somewhere a little bit harder, somewhere a little bit easier, but at the same time, every single moment, every single time, every single lesson will teach you something new, will teach you something incredibly creative, and will make you much more efficient and confident. See you in the next lesson.